Hello and welcome to Here's Your Apology. I'm your host, Nate Wazinski, and today we're going to find out if you are a threat to democracy. Are you white? Are you rural? Then you might, in fact, be a threat to democracy, and we're going to find out how right now. This episode is brought to you by the NAACP. They weren't that hard to trick. It was surprisingly simple. We told them we were a diversity group focused on helping white people apologize to the African community, apologize to the indigenous community, the gay community, the transgender community, the queer community, women, men who are now women, who were formerly men who are women but identify as men, identifying as women. We help apologize to all sorts of animals. We're not a speciesist operation here. Penguins, otters, an elephant. So we apologize to inanimate objects, Bud Light. We apologize to beer companies because they're not that hard to trick. But they are thieves. Handy with the steel, if you know what I mean. Earn your keep. I, for one, have been dealing with something probably all of my life. And it wasn't until recently when I was watching my favorite news network, MSNBC, that it dawned on me. Up until today, anyhow, I've been angry my entire fucking life. I don't know why, but it's just something I've struggled with. Anger, you might even call it rage. But today, MSNBC brought light to this mystery of why I'm so fucking angry all the time. Before we watch this clip, I just want to cue it up. I don't know what this broad's name is on MSNBC. It doesn't matter. She's a reporter. A man behind a curtain types words for her to read. It's a miracle she can do that. First of all, you know, if you're a woman, I have to comment on your looks because that's what you ladies like. So when men, unsolicited, comment on your looks. So this lady is a hunchback for sure. I can't really tell because she's facing the camera, but I feel like if she, like you moved her to the side, she would have like a, you know, almost like she's wearing a backpack, but it's all skin and fat and gristle. Anyway, this lady, I'm sure she's nice. She looks like she's 75, but she could also be 85. I was going to say 50s, but no. She could also be a man. It is MSNBC, MSLSD. Anyway, this lady brings on two gentlemen, absolute alphas. I believe PhD dudes, which I'm told means you're smarter than any of the other whites. I know it sounds crazy because it's MSNBC, but these guys know what they're talking about. And you're going to see what I mean here in a second. I keep pumping it up. They're going to list off some things, some characteristics. And I want you to ask yourself, when they're listing these characteristics off, I want you in your head to check off the boxes next to the characteristics that these guys list for us rural whites. Check off those boxes as they read it.
Joining us now, Professor of Political Science at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, Tom Schaller, and journalist and opinion writer Paul Waldman. Their new book, out tomorrow, is entitled White Rural Rage, the Threat to American Democracy. And Tom, we'll start with you. Why are white rural voters a threat to democracy at this point? You would think, as we pointed out, looking at Joe Biden's background and Donald Trump's, that the opposite would be true.
I mean, we lay out the fourfold interconnected threat that white rural voters pose to the country. First of all, and we show 30 polls and national studies to demonstrate this, so we provide the receipts in Chapter 6. They're the most racist, xenophobic, anti-immigrant, and anti-gay geodemographic group in the country. Second, they're the most conspiracist group. QAnon support and subscribers, election denialism, COVID denialism and scientific skepticism, Obama birtherism. Third, anti-democratic sentiments. They don't believe in an independent press, free speech. They're most likely to say the president should be able to act unilaterally without any checks from Congress or the courts or the bureaucracy. They're also the most strongly white nationalist and white Christian nationalists. And fourth, they are most likely to excuse or justify violence as an acceptable alternative to peaceful public discourse.
So you mentioned a lot of negative factors about this.
My goodness, have you ever seen such men? First of all, absolute alphas, these two. men. You know what I mean? Like real men. Like men with like chiseled jawlines and biceps. They smell like whiskey. Who would have thought? Out of Fox, CNN, Fox, it would be MSNBC that totally solidified my vote for Trump. How crazy. That's just the tip of the iceberg. We are a threat to democracy, but spoiler alert. Well, I haven't read the book, but I would assume that the spoiler would be that we don't live in a democracy, but a constitutional republic. So yeah, like we are a threat to democracy because we believe in unalienable rights. White rural rage is gonna save America. That's awesome. But that's not even like, that's just the tip. Because rural whites, or the outdoor whites as we call them, not to be confused with the city whites, which are out, like they're also outdoor whites, but they live in tents and shit on the sidewalk, if you know what I mean. The other outdoor whites, there's so much more than just that stokes the fires of rage. Like, hell hath no fury, like a white seeing someone not put their shopping cart away. I've seen whites on Dr. Phil talking about this subject. I've seen people flip the heck out. What are some other things that make... Oh, one thing that upsets whites, rural whites, is someone standing in a grocery aisle. Just standing there. Like this, for some reason, throws... rural whites into a rage. And you know when a rural white is in rage mode, because they'll say things like, your mouth's about to write a check that your ass can't catch. If you keep campaigning, you're gonna get elected. You know what I mean? That's like, they say things like that. If you're gonna dance, you gotta pay the band. I don't know why I had to go into a Southern. I always have to go into like a quasi-Southern / stroke victim accent. Like if you hear a white say buddy or pal, they're not happy. But when they start doing the sayings, dude, you better watch the fuck out. Boy, I'll beat you 10 ways till Sunday. You know what I mean? White rage. Rural white rage. Dude, it's like they know... me, my friends, my entire fucking family. My mind is blown, these two prophets. Who knew that white rural rage was going to destroy democracy and continue to establish the constitutional republic in which we lived and this country was founded on? That's a mind-blowy. Oh, I read this article. I don't remember where, and it's not important. You could probably Google it and find it. But there was this article talking about Joe Biden and what his campaign strategy is, and their number one concern out of everything: illegal immigration, inflation, all sorts of gas prices, the war with Russia, China, what's going on with China. Their number one concern is keeping him from falling. Keep him upright. I would suggest, now I'm not a campaign strategist. I don't think I needed to say that. If I could be a little angel on your shoulder for a moment, the Biden crew, might I suggest weightlifting? Just get in the gym, start doing bicep curls, and start deadlifting. Because I can't imagine... because he's going to fall. At this point, it's just mitigation. You know, if you anticipate him falling like 100 times, maybe try and keep it down to 50-ish, 50, 60. Mitigate. But what you're going to want to do is, because you're still lifting an old man like dead weight from the ground, he's not going to help you at all. He's not going to be able to assist you. He's just going to be like dead weight. He doesn't even know where, like, fuck forgetting any of his speeches. He's not going to get any of them correct. So you guys are good to not even worry about any of the speeches. Give him simple words, no countries, no foreign leaders, possibly even like a color by number sketch that he can just show everybody and we can clap for him. But he is going to fall. And if your number one concern is him falling, I'm just going to suggest deadlifts and curls. He's probably heavier than he looks. He used to be a sturdy man, I think. And now he's just made out of graham crackers. But it's like not just graham crackers. They've been soaked in milk. But they won't fall apart. So whatever that concoction is, that's what he's made out of. And if you're going to keep him upright, either, start chalking up your forearms, do a lot of back exercises. Don't worry about cardio because he's not hard to keep up with, I'm assuming. Best of luck to all of you. I don't want to see the president of the United States fall. I also don't want him to go out on the stage with a walker or a cane. I know he's going to shuffle, but shuffling's easier and better looking than a walker, which he probably needs. Do you think as soon as he's done in office, the second another president is sworn in, he's going to just disappear into the wind? Or is he gonna melt? It'll be interesting to see. Who knows? It's 2024. Anything can happen, even a nuclear attack. Again, this episode is brought to you by the NAACP. They weren't hard to trick. White rural rage. How fun. Dude, this isn't a secret either. White rural rage. In case you guys didn't know, on a serious note, they went on the news and basically just said, hey, we know you guys already know, but it's cool to assault white people. And here's an excuse as to why. They have rage, and so any violence towards them is justified. But I am serious about the alphas. Those guys are just physical specimens. You can tell they command attention. You know what I mean? They walk into the room and the other men are like, who are those guys? Just who are they? I bet they can tell me if I'm a threat to democracy or not. Whoopie Goldberg the other day came out on The View as retarded. She was saying that the president can do anything he wants, so he should arrest all of the Republicans.
You know what Joe Biden could do since he is presently president?
What?
Whoa. He could throw every Republican in jail.
All of them. All of them. The president can do... I think Whoopi Goldberg is confusing the president of the United States with a classic Middle Eastern genie. Out of a lamp, granting wishes. I like Whoopi's perspective. I like it because it's cute. Now I have a confession. I haven't always liked Whoopi Goldberg. Not because of race, not because of anything other, not her stupid fucking haircut or her dumb face. Whenever she talked or I heard her voice or Jumping Jack Flash came on TV, it would trigger my white rural rage. And I would just get so pissed. I would get so pissed at the mention of her name or the sound of her voice or the thought of the smell of cat piss. But today, when Whoopi Goldberg came out and suggested that Biden should arrest all Republicans, all my hate went away. All my anger, all my white rural rage towards Whoopi Goldberg, it all went away. And for the first time ever in the history of me shitting on those bitches at The View, how did I not see it until now? She's retarded. She's like a little kid. And of course, she's confusing the president of the United States with the genie that comes out of a lamp when you rub it. Arrest all the Republicans. And I will admit that I like the way that she sees the world more than the way that I see the world. Where I see Biden as a cheat, like a sociopathic, pedophilic thief, someone with no soul, no heart, dying from a blackened conscience, and he's just an awful human being. from the inside. Like, that's my view. And it's very cynical. And it's not fun. But if I saw him as a genie, I think life might be a little bit more fun. And I think the more that I think about this, the more it makes sense. Cancel student debt. Stop a genocide. Like, these are all wishes. They're all wishes to be granted by the Middle Eastern lamp genie. Did I just find out I'm a liberal? Fuck no. Is it fun to pretend? Yeah. It's like you take the red pill and you can't go back, right? But every now and then you just like pretend you're back in the Matrix. Like, do you think Neo for a second didn't like close his eyes and try and remember the taste of a steak or what a fart smells like? He probably did. And so that's what I'd like to do. I should take more time and just convince myself of that delusion. Like, my politician is going to grant my wish, and the other politician is a demon. Sorry. That's how I see them act. You know what? I have a new compassion, a new love, even maybe, for liberals. They're just retarded. Liberals are just retards. Like, we've been saying it for years, but like literally, they're retards who believe in genies. And I've proven it here today. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Keep Biden upright. Keep his ass upright, because if you don't, he's going to fall over and we're all going to look silly. So keep the man upright and keep you a job. That would be the worst job ever. You get to work a little bit and then you have no more job. Anyway. You know, I want to take this show in a new fucking direction. I didn't need to say fucking, but I did it for emphasis. And because I'm white and I have rural rage, I want to take this show in a new fucking direction. Oh, I have to answer some questions. I have some audience questions you have written in. I'm going to rapid fire these fuckers because it's 9:15 where I'm at right now. 9:15 p.m. I've got to get to bed because I have work in the morning and I also volunteered for overtime. Why? Because I'm stupid, which is different than retarded. I want to make that clear. Stupid is different than retarded. Retarded believing in genies. All right, first question comes in. Change your smoke detector batteries. You should call in sick to work. So far, these aren't questions. All right, here we go. When was the last time you masturbated? Moving on. Ever eaten blue waffles and ham? You guys are insane. I've had ham, obviously. I've had ham, and I've Googled what a blue waffle is, and don't look that up. It's gross. It's like John Lovitz. And gross. That's gross. How would I do a John Lovitz impression? That's gross. That's gross. How would John Lovitz say that? That's gross. He would go, gross. That's what he would do. John Lovitz would just go, gross. Okay, someone said, damn, I just saw this. Okay, well, you wasted your question on a comment. So, would you light yourself on fire for Palestine? How about for a Klondike bar? I would be more apt to light myself on fire for a Klondike bar and not Palestine, but not because I don't love Palestinian people. It's because Klondike bars are so good. Are you and Levi gonna review bedding or pillows next after the discussion on quilts? We should. We should, because honestly, good bedding is so underrated. Like, have you ever sat on a clay curtain? Have you ever slept on like a high quality flannel? I know it sounds silly because it's not like, you thought I was going to say like Egyptian cotton or some bullshit. Self-love is love, but not in a porta potty. That's the only caveat. Self-love is love, not in a porta potty. Do you think Nikki Haley is a throat goat? She has to be, because Like, she has a very high position right now as governor, and she's not that pretty. Who's got a bigger hog, McConnell or Schumer? Oh, Amy Schumer for sure. What's your favorite cocktail? What's my favorite cocktail? Like the yellow ones that repeat your words when you say it to them. That's a bird, right? Psych, I know what you were saying. What's my favorite cocktail? It's an old-fashioned. Smoked old-fashioned. So good. I like the cherry, which makes me a little gay. But I don't believe in that. Are they still... This one made me laugh. Are they still calling you the Polish warthog? You know what? They will be now. They fucking will be now. My name's Nate Wazinski. I'm the Polish warthog, and I'm here to fuck shit up. That felt so good. That felt so cool. My name's Nate Wazinski, and I'm the Polish warthog. And I'm here to steal these Skittles. And then I run out of the store. Tough. Too good. Oh, fuck. Would you rather your sons vape or be trans? Why don't you just light me on fire for Palestine? Dude, I couldn't see my sons being... Okay, so would you rather your sons vape, which is gay, or be trans, which is gay? Right? Same. So you're just trying, that's got to be some type of logical fallacy. You're like trying to trap me in. Yeah, I don't want my sons to be gay. If that's your question. Do you want your sons to be gay? No, I don't. That's the answer to that. Because vaping is gay and being trans is also gay. It's just another name for gay. Is anal considered kosher? I don't know because I'm not Jewish, but I suppose. How often do you Botox your lips and your cheeks? Twice a year, and it's Dysport. It's not Botox like you fucking poor people in the city. I go into the city from the rural, rage-infested parts of America, and I fill my lips and my cheeks with something that you can't even spell, or I can't either, but you can't afford, and only I can. Probably twice a year. That's what I would look like. What if I came on next week and was like, I don't Botox my lips. This is me laughing now. If you're watching this and you do that shit, just know that you don't think it, but we all think you look weird. Like we talk about it behind your back. You look fucking crazy. Stop doing it. Stop. Is Levi back on tour with Hawthorne Heights? Currently, he is... Here's the thing with Levi. He has been tucked away because... How do I say this? He took an AIDS test last week, and he doesn't want me to talk about it. So I'm not gonna. But I will say the future is not looking bright for Levi. I can't really say any more than that because he asked me to keep it private and not share any of that. But yeah, so those are the Ask Me Anythings. I hope you enjoyed all those. Special shout out Dr. Knockers 55 and Dustin Smith. Your questions are always hilarious and fun. And my boy Chris Clark. A special shout out to you guys because your questions were my favorite. And I'm not going to tell anyone which ones they were because that would be cheating according to the rule that I just made up in my head right now. I honestly think, like, this is a random whatever, but I honestly think society would be better if we could just, if it was socially acceptable to hit women. Not hard, not a fist, but like the meat of your hand. You know, the amount of women that pull out in front of me in parking lots would drop dramatically. There's some white row rage. One more time, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, the NAACP. They weren't hard to trick.